Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike Green. I'm one of the owners of 1A Auto. I want to help you save time and money repairing and maintaining your vehicle. I'm going to use my 20 plus years experience restoring and repairing cars and trucks like this to show you the correct way to install parts from 1AAuto.com. The right parts installed correctly. That's going to save you time and money. Thank you and enjoy the video.
In this video, we're going to replace the driver's side regulator on this 98 Explorer, same as any 91 to 01 Explorer, and this procedure is similar for all doors, although there'll be some slight differences for the rear doors and things like that. Tools you'll need are a Phillips screwdriver, a hammer and punch, a drill and small to large drill bits, 10 and 11 millimeter sockets and a ratchet, painter's tape or whatever kind of tape you want to use to hold up your window, bolts and lock nuts to replace your rivets, and a regular screwdriver. Okay, we're going to speed through taking the door panel off. You can probably gather enough just by this fast motion. It's basically a few screws and then use a putty knife or a door panel clip tool to pry out the door panel, as well as take off the mirror switch, which I just did there, and then the door panel comes off.
Your window doesn't always break in the exact right position you need to get it out. So, say your window breaks when it's all the way down or down right there. Okay, what are you going to do? Basically what you're going to do is our new regulator comes with this whole track. So you're just going to break this part and then you're going to get the other one to a place where you can reach in. Maybe you have to take your speaker off, but you can break these things and then free the window, tape the window up, and get the regulator off. So that's what I'm going to do. What I have here is a punch and a hammer, and what this punch is going to do is when I hit it real good right here, it's going to put a little dot, and that's where I'm going to drill into. If you try and start drilling on just a flat surface, the drill bit will walk all over the place. But if you put a little divot in it with a punch, then it's a whole lot easier to drill into. I'm going to start with a drill and a small drill bit. I'm going to change to a larger drill bit. This is a 3/16 drill bit. This should be big enough to take off what I need to take off. Okay, so you can see right there how that's drilled out. Okay, so I'm going to take now a larger 1/8 bit. To separate the regulator from the door, you need to drill out these 3 rivets, and the first step to that is using a punch, and you want to place it right in the middle of the rivet, and then you want to give a good rap with your hammer, okay, which knocks the middle of the rivet right out. And now you have a 5/16 drill bit, and these rivets are nice and soft, so you can just press it right in. Okay, and once you have those 3 rivets, then you want to remove these 3 nuts. 1, 2, and 3, and they're 11 millimeter. Okay, so I unbolted these and I've let the window slide down. Okay, and then I want to get the regulator out. Okay, you just tap it right there.
Just a quick note, if your window breaks in precarious position, you could perform the step that I just did, which is drilling out the rivets, loosen up the regulator, and then move the window and regulator around so that you can get to other spots that you might need to drill out.
Okay, at this point, or even before, you can unplug the window motor, which is this plug right down here. Just use a little screwdriver to help you pry up this little tab, and then pull the connector out. Now you can see that I was able to raise my window up and tape it up with some painter's tape. And now I can see right in, and I want to, just like on the regulator to the door rivets, I want to punch these rivets out. This one right here, and then this one right here, punch them out and drill them out, and then I can pull the regulator right out. So ran into a problem here. This rivet started spinning. So what I'm doing is I'm reaching in with a screwdriver and holding the rivet with the screwdriver. Okay, so you can see right in there. Here's my screwdriver. Just stick it right under the rivet to kind of keep it in place while you drill it. And when this happens, you want to be really light with your drill. One of your rivets is stuck, you can just kind of work a screwdriver right up in between, behind the track and in the window. And you'll want to remove your inside door handle, which removes 2 Phillips screws. Okay, and then there's a little clip back here that you have to unclip, and the handle twists right off. Up. The regulator comes up and out. Obviously the old regulator, the new regulator from One Auto, everything's all the same. You know, it has this stud here to help you get it in. Includes this integrated bracket here, and it's going to plug in exactly the same. We're actually going to bolt this all back together. So what you can do is just make sure that these holes, the rivets, all cleaned out of them, and then I'm going to put the bolts through that way and bolt them on, and then the same thing with the regulator. I'm going to put them through the regulator and then through the door. Okay, so I'll reinstall it like that. You take your regulator, get back into the door. Okay, and if you want, you can hang this right here. I'll just put these bolts on a little bit, just to hold it in place. And then you can actually grab the stud in the regulator and put it up through right there, and just thread this bolt on. You kind of pull your mechanism up here and hold it up until you have your regulator bracket where you want it. At this point, make sure your harness isn't bound up anywhere. Bring it up and plug it in. So now I'm going to tighten up these 3 11mm bolts first. Now the bolts I used are 10mm, so I've got my 10mm wrench, and socket and ratchet. And I use lock nuts on these bolts. I'm just going to snug these up first, and then I'll tighten them up afterwards. Now that I've got my regulator bolted in, I can actually just move it up and close to in place here. I can reach right up in here and put this bolt on. Not the easiest. I pause. Reach right up in here, put this bolt in, and then using an extension of the socket, put this nut into place. And started, and then tighten them up. Now you can see I removed the tape. Works good. Okay, so now you can put this back on and press it on. Okay, and the door handle. Bring the rod back down. And what you want to do is put the handle on. And then this clip goes right on over and clips onto the rod. And then put your handle in, and use a little bit of force to slide it back. And if your water shield's lost some of its stickiness, you can use some tape or whatever to get it to stay.
Okay, now we're going to speed through the rest of putting the door panel back on. And if you want to see this in regular motion, just check out our other video for Explorer door panel removal and replacement. And we hope that helped you out. We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.1aauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.